What's up? Good evening, everyone. It is Manifesting Monday on Practical Magic. I'm so excited to be here today. And I have with me also the most amazing Dawn Maloney. She is coming in because Tracy Locke, who normally is in that cube, is not here tonight. She got stuck at work. She's doing some amazing stuff, a creative process. We can't tell you because then we'd have to stop. I can't say kill you. That doesn't sound really nice on a manifesting. And of course, my name is Donna V, and this is the most amazing professional life coach, Kim Mazzella. Welcome, ladies. It is Monday, January 25th. I'm so excited to be here. You look beautiful. What's going on?
You look so great, Donna.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited because tonight's topic is, I think, something that we all could use help with. I mean, so many people right now have been feeling, upset and angry and ready to manifest and change life. So when we decided last week that the topic was going to be a vent, I thought this is going to be amazing. I think so many people will benefit from what venting is. And if you would not mind, Kim Mazzella, could you just lead the conversation by explaining to everyone what is a vent and how do you do it?
I would be happy to. So I just want to explain before we get into it how I came across a vent. When I was very young, I had an eating disorder. And in my 20s, very early 20s, I went to my first life coach. And I called her and I told her all my problems. In that week, I had lost my job. I had lost my boyfriend and I was out of control with an eating disorder. And her response on the phone was, wow, you must be meant for big things, because when you're that down, the only way is up. And I remember thinking, that's a really terrible comment, right? I was not happy or pleased with that response, but I went anyway because I knew a lot of people knew this woman and had said that they had really gotten some help from her. So the first thing she ever taught me, first tool I ever was taught by someone else, was called a vent. So what she said was, we're energy, right? And if we understand that we're energy, and energy moves forward, and what that means is whatever you think about, you're creating more of. And it would be really great if we could just think about great things all the time and just create great stuff. But what happens is sometimes you get stuck and you can't get through the feeling bad stuff. And if we were like in spirit, it would be great. We'd just be like, oh, I'm just going to move beyond it. But we can't do that because we live lives. So what a vent is, it's an organized way to face the things that are really paining you and to bring them up with the idea that you're going to release them. So when the process of a vent is literally writing down on a piece of paper in a specific order, which we'll talk about, everything that's going on in your world, everything, your particular anger, your particular upset, and bringing it all up. And it's like, I always say, it's like scraping the pot. You just want to, you don't want to wash the pot and leave all that stuff at the bottom. You want to get like the scrubber thing, and you want to scrub the pot. And when you bring it all up, then we do what I call is a rewrite. And the rewrite is looking at what I call your vent and creating what you really want from that. But the beauty of a vent is when you really force yourself to write it out, you get kind of tired of it as you're writing it. And it's almost like a way to work through it. And so I always say, and I'll give the process in a second, but I always say, when you're writing your vent, when you think you're done, think to yourself, am I really done? There's got to be more. And just keep saying, there's got to be more. Is that my noise coming from me? Do you guys hear that?
Not really.
Okay. I heard like a beeping or something. Anyway, so the process of writing a vent is you write on a piece of paper, and you have it written, but it's thank you, superconscious mind, or thank you, God, or thank you, source, or whatever you believe in. And then you write everything that makes you mad. And I always say, when you're writing a vent, if you're write what's really going on. Don't pretend that, you don't want to pour pink paint over it. You want to really write what's really upsetting you. You can pour pink paint over your rewrite, but your vent better be like the nasty thoughts that are in your head And we don't want to share those nasty thoughts with other people because that creates scorched earth, what I call. But you want to get them out of your head so that you can look at them on a piece of paper and that you can give them away. So my process is, thank you, superconscious mind, or if you believe in God, that idea of the word God, you can write thank you, God, or if you believe in source, thank you, source, whatever works for you. I'm giving this to you and so that I can release it. And you write everything down on a piece of paper. And then at the bottom, you write, thank you so much. I give it all to you. And the idea is in that vent, you're going to bring it all up and hand it away so that you've looked at it, you know it exists. You're not pretending it's not there. You're not washing over it. You're not pouring paint over it. Hello. And you are able to deal with it going forward.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
I actually have more than one question, but I know that one of the things that we've learned through, what we're talking about, Abraham Hicks, which I know is a resource that I think all three of us have definitely relied upon, used, learned from. If you go on the principle of manifesting that what you speak of, you create more of, then is there a chance that when you're doing an event that you could possibly create more of it? So what is the difference between repeating history by talking about it and event? And I know you're shaking your head because I know that you know exactly that was the question I was coming up with.
Yes. Well, actually, it's a great question. And so what Abraham Hicks say is that whatever you focus your attention on is what's going to grow, what you're going to get more of. And that's absolutely true. Right. But if you are finding yourself not able to let go of something, ruminating it in your head, going through it, and then keep saying, oh, I'm not going to think about that. That means it's time to clean the pot. That means just bring it up and get rid of it. So the purpose of event is not to go back and rehash things that have already been rehashed. The purpose of event is not to stay focused on it. The reason you want to write event is so you could finally just admit what you're feeling so that you can bring it up and bring it out. And I always say, you can write a script, which is what we talked about the last show. So a script is a way of focusing on the future and getting excited about it and writing what you really want and writing it down. You could do that without venting, but you can never vent without following it up with a script.
Excellent.
So once you do your vent, if you're going to clean the pot, so to speak, you best be ready to rewrite what you're going to create. So yes, I do think that we don't want to vent all the time because it's not a good idea to just complain about things. The idea of the vent is I can't get it out of my head. I'm just so upset about this thing. And I know I've had that, especially with my kids. I've had times where I've had experiences where things have happened to my children and I want to go to parents and tell them these things, and I spend the whole night going, oh, I could do this and I could do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't stop focusing on this thing. I've got to go vent it. And when you do, if you try it, you will be shocked because at the end of it, you'll be able to let go of those feelings. And then when you do the rewrite, you'll feel really empowered to create what you really want, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I've done the vent with Kim because not only are we great friends, but I was also a client of hers. And I feel like a vent is where you're truly honest, where you just pour your heart out on paper and just allow feelings and things in your past just come out. And it's a process of letting go. And I think it only truly works if you're completely honest and you're ready to let it go.
Right.
Because we vent to girlfriends, right? And we rehash and we constantly talk about the same thing. This is where you make a decision and you say to yourself, this is it. I'm putting it all out there. I'm putting it to my God, superconscious mind, and I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let the universe in and allow the healing to take place. It feels so good. Yes.
And actually, I always find the process of event, like if I got to be careful what surface I write on, because I write, like, people like, I typed my vent. I'm like, really? Like, I'd break the keyboard when I write my vent. I'm writing it out, and I'm doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's important. I mean, you guys, for me, you froze a little bit. I don't know if I froze or you froze, but whatever.
Oh,
it's fine. But I want to say, I love the point that you said, you have to be ready to say that's it. And that is a challenge, because sometimes, all right,
Yeah.
I'll just say it like it is. I'll just say it like it is. For me, I have a situation that is completely brought up that I would love to vent, but
You froze a little.
Yeah, that's what happened.
okay. So
I think you really do have to be ready to do the vent and be ready to let it go, because there are times where you have something that's upsetting you, and you almost feel like by holding on to it, you feel like you have some type of power over the situation or another person. But in fact, holding on to anger, it's such a low energy feeling. It's the lowest of them all, that you're really not empowered at all. You're at a loss.
But can I make a suggestion? Because I vent a lot, right? So I would make a suggestion that even if you think when you're going in, because I want to tell you this, I smoked when I was a young woman, and I was not ready to quit smoking when I quit smoking. I really wasn't. I would still be smoking to this day if I waited until I was ready to quit smoking, right? So sometimes you can go into an event and say, I want to be ready. And you could just say, because you write the words, I'm going to give this all to you, right? And then when you're done, I give it all to you, take it from me. And if you believe that there's a source out there that can take it from you, and you start the rewrite, you might be surprised that you might move into readiness. And so, Donna, I want to go back to what you were saying. You were saying that there's something that you feel like you should be venting and releasing, but you're just not ready. Perhaps if you tried it, what were we going to say?
I froze. That's not what my question was. What about when the environment around you it's hard to explain. It's about work. I'm just going to say what it is. And every time I try to let it go, someone comes in and asks, so what happened? So what happened? And I say, I really don't want to I don't want to discuss it. Changes the energy. And that has been that's been my answer. But it is incredibly challenging. I find it to be incredibly challenging, because in the situation that I am finding myself, right, when we're talking about event, and I'm trying to find something that would be subject worthy of event for me, I'm not the one that brings it up.
Can I respond?
Yes, please. I froze. So I just didn't want you to think that. Please let me just retract that from the freezing. I'm ready to let it go. I am ready. My question is, what about when you're ready, but the environment that you're surrounded by disallows you to be completely ready?
So this is such a great, I'm so glad you brought this up, because I feel excited by the answer, and I think that it will help you. When something makes us feel a certain way, it is not because of them, and it's not because of what they're doing. It is because we still have healing to do, right? So every single person that comes in and asks you that, when you still feel that way, you say, oh, I still have healing around this. So your better option is, now, here's the question that I have for you. What do you think heals you? It is you when you connect to the power of healing, right? So healing is not, if we all just thought, I want to heal, and why don't we heal? Because we have to align with the power of healing. So the power of healing is within us, and it's also without us, right? And it's when we connect to it. So I always say, if we're over here feeling bad, it is because we're not in alignment. You haven't found the thought. You haven't found that thing that will click in, that puzzle piece that will make you feel like, oh, and you won't feel that trigger or that bad when someone asks you that question. You'll know you really healed from it when someone asks you that question and you're like, oh, whatever, and it doesn't even trigger you. So what you do, backing up, what you do is when you feel that trigger, or when you feel that I don't want to respond to this question, I wish you weren't bringing this up, you'll say, thank you, source, thank you, God, thank you, superconscious mind. I see that I need healing. I ask that the universe lead me to all the people, places, thoughts, and ideas that will help me heal. And then you could just say, you could write on start a piece of paper, thoughts and ideas that will help me heal, things I could do to heal. Every time I see the color red that comes into, I'm going to remind it to say a prayer for those people. Every time I see, they're like, give yourself little tools. Every time I see a blue car, I'm going to do this. Like, if you give yourself little triggers throughout the day to help your healing, you could think of all of those people have been inspired by the universe. They're conspiring for you to get over this, right? And they're going to keep coming in and doing that until you're ready to really heal. And so you could say, oh, I still need to heal. Whenever we feel that, and it does feel like the universe is conspiring, but what they're conspiring to do is to bring your healing about, because it's time for you to catapult beyond this, to use this as the thing that brings you into your power so strong, and where you just feel like you are the best version of Donna that has ever walked around the planet, if that makes sense.
I love that. Yeah. I'm definitely trying. One of the tools I know that I find helps me out, that when I was, going through your program, and I would love for you to talk about it, would be the volcano. And I know that that's something that helps out tremendously when you're trying to get rid of all of that gunk. I think it's like the youre strip for your first chakra.
So that's awesome. I love that. So once again, if you listen to Abraham Hicks a lot, or you listen to the people who they'll say, just focus on what you want, and then you'll always get more of that. But the world will be like, oh, we'll come into your salon and say, what happened, right? So that's all really well and good, Abraham Hicks, but you don't work in my salon.
Yeah, you don't know. It's called salon gossip, okay? I'm not changing the name.
So we have to have tools. That's why I'm like the tool giver, right? So one of the things that I do is, when you're feeling a certain way, and usually it's anger, and that works the best with the volcano, but you can use any emotion. And I tend to put the volcano, if you don't know the chakra system, we did go over it here, but you have an energy body, and in your energy body, you have energy centers. And these energy centers represent different stages of life. And in the center right here, this is your heart center, right? It's right here. So I usually put the volcano in your heart center, because that's where we usually feel things. Like, if anybody's ever been heartbroken, they know exactly where their heart chakra is, right? Yeah. I mean, like, I remember when I went through heartbreak, when I was getting divorced, I was like, oh my God, am I having a heart attack? I mean, isn't it interesting that you think that you can feel your heart chakra when you are in pain like that? So what you do is you take a volcano and you put it in that area, and you imagine whatever the feeling is to be the color that it would represent, and usually red, right? And if you go, by the way, if you want to join my group, Supercharger Mindset on Facebook, I actually have pinned at the top of my Facebook page an actual meditation for you to follow. So if you're feeling bad, you can actually listen to the meditation on my Facebook page, Supercharger Mindset, and it's free. It's just sitting there. So what you do is you imagine, you give it a color, and I usually give it red. I think, Dawn, when I walked through you threw it. It was red.
Yes.
Red.
Yep, it was red.
It feels like anger, right? And you let yourself, you give it a voice. And actually what you do with that energy.
We haven't done the volcano, but we talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about red energy and root chakra grounding. Yeah. So because I haven't had an angry moment yet, that will so someday I will call you to do this exercise.
God bless.
So I call it running energy. It's another way of thinking about it. So if you think of yourself as an energy body, and energy is always going through your body, and if you can run red energy, what happens is you give. So what happens when we're angry is we want to just pretend it's not there, and just smile. And I call it spiritual tyranny. Like, when people get like, you're angry, but you're a life coach. I'm like, I'm a person.
I'm a person.
I have a life.
That is so funny.
So so you take the red energy and you let yourself get mad, and you even think about why you're mad, and you try to amplify your anger, because we believe that if we let ourselves really get mad, we'll kill people or do something terrible, excuse my language. But really what happens is, if you just let that to run, it's tiresome to be that angry. So what I do is I have you explode the volcano and explode it, and it goes up to your head and flows through your body, and you really run anger through your body for a while, and you let yourself say angry. And when you do it with me, when I walk you through it, I could tell when your energy system's like, I don't want to be angry anymore, and I make you hold on to it for like 1 second or 2 seconds longer. I don't know if you remember this. I make you hold on to it to just feel like uncomfortable in the anger. So then what we start to do is change the energy of the volcano to a different color, and lighten it and lighten it and lighten it until the energy runs white. And we actually use that energy to purify your whole body.
Yeah.
And if you do the volcano, you'll feel like it's better afterward. I mean, what's your experience, Donna? You've done it.
I definitely agree. I think you do feel better. And I think I remember what we did. We ran it from red, and then it was pink. It was like a hot pink, and then it was a lighter pink, and then it was white. And it was like allowing that red to dissipate, because we hooked that up and connected that to, the energy of anger. But I do think it's interesting, because anybody that exercises that's out there, a good analogy might be like holding a plank. And if you've ever held a plank and you start to shake, and you realize, like, if you have a trainer or if you're doing it yourself, and you sit there and you say, no, I'm not going to break this plank. I'm going to stay here, because I know that this is the moment where it becomes the most difficult, that it is the most effective on my body. It is the same thing emotionally to do that practice of doing, the volcano, running the volcano. And I'm trying to think of another way, because I know not everybody likes to exercise. Not everyone is familiar with the tangibles or how to feel that controlling of anger. But another thing that comes to my mind visually is when you think about a child, and you think about a child having a temper tantrum, and there are some people that believe, that, oh yeah, you're going to stop them. And, I never was a parent that said, stop what you're doing. That's terrible. I can't believe what you're doing. You just got to let them do it. Let the temper tantrum run its course, because once the child or the person goes through that, and like you said, when you get rid of all that energy, it is exhausting. And it is not until they come to complete exhaustion that they're even open enough to listen to, hey, do you feel any better for what you did, like for what you went through? I mean, I think we've all done that in many ways. I see Dawn, she's shaking her head. I think we've all done that in lots of ways, as in the human experience, whether you are angry and then you are really truly venting, and not the venting that we're speaking of, which is the actual act of the vent. But when we vent to our girlfriends, you're angry about something. Sometimes it makes you feel better just to get it out. Some people jog, some people run, some people throw things. I mean, now people are throwing hatchets and stuff. But Dawn, what's your experience with that?
Well, I think what I'd like to say is, I think that we've been socially conditioned when it comes to heavy emotions. We're told to get over it. And I truly believe that it's not about getting over anything. It's going through it. And what Kim teaches us is to get through things. And the venting process and the volcano process is about going through it. We're dirty on one side, but when you go through something, you're going to come out clean on the other.
That's
I like that. That's some hard scrubbing.
And I think the other thing is that we have to honor. See, the thing about emotion is if you can't own your emotion, you can't change your emotion. So if you can honor where you are, and then I always teach the emotional scale, and I do believe that there's 22 levels of emotion, and really I call them the top and the bottom. And the top emotion is anything from content or better, and the bottom is from boredom or below. And if you are not aware of where you are on the emotional scale, how are you possibly going to go up it? So you've got to honor where you are. And so in order to make a change, just like in a relationship, if the relationship's not working out, I remember that even in my, I've had worked with so many people who are pretending everything's okay. And they just go through like years just pretending everything's okay. How are you going to fix a relationship if you're just pretending? You've got to face things, and it's, and that's why I call it spiritual tyranny, because I do think that we've gotten to this point sometimes where we're supposed to be so happy and positive. And when I say, positive is great, but you have to own the negative. That's why I call myself a light docent, because what a light docent means is there's a lot of negative in this world, right? That's why Virginia, that woman I went to, when she heard how much negative was in my life, she was like, wow. When you bring the positive to it, it's not about being positive. It's about creating light. And so there's always going to be negative in the world. That's what the world is, right? The world has plenty of negative. When we bring the positive to it, we create light. We make it easier for us to see and easier for everybody around us to see. So we don't want to pretend there's not, and we don't want to wash over the negative. We want to own it and then figure out how to use it to create light. Because I think that the world needs light workers. It doesn't need any more politicians, but it could use some more light workers.
I agree. Let me ask you this. Could you possibly give an example, a real, a concrete example? Like, for instance, if somebody wanted to write an event about just even last year, I mean, we're still in it. I think it's funny, and we talked about this many times, how often people were like, I can't wait till 2020 is over, 2021 is here. We're almost, in my opinion, this is probably one of the fastest Januaries I've ever experienced. It is January 25th.
Yeah.
6 days left of the month. And I don't know about anybody else, but we're still in the same spot that we were in. I understand there are some critical pieces that have changed. And for some people, that was a necessary thing to happen, because I found it fascinating. And I know we don't really discuss politics, but I feel it's fascinating how much a couch in a living room could really affect an entire decor negatively. And for some reason, people feel that now that the couch is on the curb, that the house is now worthy. I think the house has always been worthy. I've always enjoyed my living room. And I think that it makes me sad when I know we're talking spiritually, that people depend on so many outside things for them to feel so good on the inside. But if we could figure out a way to come up with a generalized vent, is there such a thing as a generalized vent that we could do as a process and a project and something, for people to like learn? And also, could you give an example? I know it's a tall order, of an example of how you would then, on the other side of it, create your script.
I'd be happy to. I want to mention something that you had just said. And I actually did a show on this. If you ever watched through my things, I talked about this. I talked about my boyfriend, my poor boyfriend. He's like the subject of so many of my but
my husband's involved in everything too. So in fact, he was on earlier walking through.
Yeah, we got to see him. So he got a client, and he was very, very excited, right? He got a client and very, very excited. And I said to him, and I was like such a Debbie Downer, but I didn't mean to be. What I meant to explain is, if you could understand that it's not that client that is the excitement, right? And it was a big client, so it was a big deal in his life. It is the creating of the client. And when you understand that you could create any client you want, then you won't need that client. You're right. Now you put yourself in this position that something outside of you has decided your self-worth and your joy. So yes, but here's the thing. When you get up like this, the universe craves balance. So it's going to move you down. It's the way it is. So we want to learn how to live in contentment and joy. That doesn't mean we won't get excited about things. And it doesn't mean that we should be bummed out all the time. I'm just saying, let's use this as a teachable moment, that this is why it's great that you got this client, and we all want good things for everybody. You were really bummed out last week, and look how happy you are. And that means you've given your power away. Why not just always be happy, right? Why not always figure out things to think that will make you happy? So what? Yeah. So
I love that.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. And,
he wasn't happy. He was like flying. He's like, why are you bringing me down?
I'm not bringing you down. We're keeping you on the tightrope. Listen, we know there's a net down there, and we know up there there's a harness. But if you could just walk the tightrope, you'd be happier.
Yeah. Yeah. So event would start like this. Thank you, super conscious mind. Now, here's the thing. This is not a pretty thing. Like it's whatever's in your head, right? So thank you, Superconscious Mind.
And I do have this up. So wait, while you're saying this, if you don't mind, so that if anybody wants to take a screenshot, I'm going to put this up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you. You start by writing, thank you, Superconscious Mind, for allowing me to bring this up so I can completely release it to you. Now, going back to Dawn and what you were saying, even if you don't feel like you're ready to completely release it, have the intention that no matter what, you're going to completely release it. Even if you're not ready, you could even admit that to yourself, right? Then write whatever you're feeling. So mine might look like this. Thank you, Superconscious Mind, for allowing me to bring this up so I completely release it to you. I am so done with the pandemic. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I'd write that down. And I want it to be over. I hate that I signed up for the vaccination and I haven't even gotten a letter. What the heck? Right? Everything that you meant. I hate that I got to wear a mask everywhere I go. I can't stand, like, no, this is not a special thing. I can't stand that I don't get to see my parents, or my kids can't hang out with their friends. I can't stand that there's the mask police that will call me and tell me if my kids were out and about not wearing their masks. I mean, like, I'll say whatever terrible thing comes into my head, right? And it doesn't have to be pretty, right? So write it all out.
And this is private, right? This is not have to be shown to anyone. This is between you and the universe.
Yes. So, and I just want to make a judgment. If you're the person who doesn't want to wear a mask, that's your, whatever. I wear a mask because I go out every day. Okay. So everything that I hate always having to remember to put my mask on. I hate that I can't breathe through it. I hate that we're living in a world where we got to wear masks. Write it all down. What else would I write? I hate that I can't wear my cute outfits and go out for dinner, and my boots and my
all of my lipstick is going to waste.
Yeah. I know. All my lipstick's on my mask. I'll put lipstick on in the morning and I'm like, why am I bothering? I miss wearing high heel boots places. I'm going to go through 2 winters of my life without. I miss wearing cute outfits and cute makeup and cute stuff.
I wear it in the house.
Good.
I put a brooch on for the show.
Yeah, I have to dress up.
For you.
I'm always playing on this bod.
What other things would you write that, I hate that people are dying. I hate that, people have lost their lives for something that,
if you're just tuning in, this sounds like a very bizarre situation, but what we're doing is discussing how you would go about writing an event. And we're using a very general subject right now so that anybody that's tuning in now or has been watching or will be watching on the rewatch can actually use this as a formula for something very, very across the board, a subject that we can all relate to, which is how this pandemic is affecting us. So if you're tuning in and you're just seeing this life coach and docent saying, I hate this, I hate that, no, we've not backed up. This is not a Saturday Night Live
example.
I think the other thing too, the other thing I would add in that is that I really hate the fact how polarized we are. Like, people are just at each other's throats. I hate the fact that people feel they have to walk around so tense and intense. Like, I feel like I hate the fact that lightness has left the building, and it just makes me very upset and very sad.
Right.
Can I just say something? I don't feel any of this at all. And the reason why I do is because I've done so much work with Kim that I am in a very happy place because I'm focusing on what's good. And that's not to say there aren't bad things in my life. It's, again, where you put the focus. But if you have something that's renting a lot of space in your head, this is the exercise for you. Kim, take it away.
Okay. So I pretty much, by the way, don't feel like this most of the time either. But there are times where I feel frustrated about the mask, wearing it, because I wear it 8 hours a day. So, but for the most part, I love my life. And so if you're listening to me spew hate, please know this isn't my natural state.
And you know what, though? But this makes us real. This is a show about being real. And, like, honestly, we don't have to qualify it. It is.
Right.
I agree with you. I walk around, and I know Dawn, and I know you, Kim. We do walk around happy and stuff. And it's not because we're I don't know. I don't
Living in La La Land.
No,
We just
but we choose to take a different path. But
That's
there are
right.
definitely people watching this right now that do not feel the way that we feel, that are not laughing right now.
Happiness is a choice, but you might be experiencing something very traumatic or something in your past that's very deep and dark. And you need to let that go. And maybe this is your time to do that.
Right. And happiness is a choice, but we're not taught how to be happy. And I say it all the time because I'm always so shocked at how happy people are after my course. And I'm like, how do you not know this? Like, how is it that this is not taught in schools? And it's funny because I am starting to go to schools and teach this stuff. So they are starting to teach teachers how to teach this because it's called social emotional learning. And they're starting to say, wait, we don't teach people how to be happy. And how to be happy is there is a set group of things that you could do to change the way you think to be happy, to become happy. And so if you are unhappy, it is totally possible for you to change the way you think and change your thinking patterns to align with happiness. And that's what I do. That's what I teach.
Can you repeat that slower? What is it called? Social what?
Social emotional learning.
Okay. So they're teaching this in school now?
Well, they're teaching teachers how to teach it in school. So there's a lot of what they call professional development for teachers now in school systems to add a component of social emotional learning. So teachers are starting to add some meditation to their classrooms.
Love it.
So that in all schools in New Jersey, I don't know about other states, but I know in New Jersey, it's becoming a part of the New Jersey curriculum, I believe, because it's all PDs all around. Like the professional developments of different school systems have curriculum focused on social emotional learning.
I read a book when I was, I think, high school or college it's a classic psychology book on emotional intelligence. And that's basically
it over here somewhere.
is having, that consciousness of knowing what you're feeling. And a lot of times we get lost in our emotions. And that's what venting does. It brings us back into the emotion. We create a space for it and we begin that healing process.
Right. And so that's beautiful. And so the purpose of a vent, here's the thing. I'm not a big fan of venting to your friends more than once. If you need to vent to your friends, okay, bring it up. But the goal is bring it up to release it. If you're doing it a second time, I call that complaining. So just be careful. So just because whatever you talk about is what you bring into your energy field. So
yes, my daughter is getting this at her school. The teachers just had a PD on this. Welcome, Suzanne Stein. So excited. That's amazing.
So it is something that
write everything down. Go through the process. We're writing everything down. We spew. We just vent. We let it go on paper.
And you could use curse words if it like feels. Sometimes I use the F word. It makes me feel better when I'm writing it.
It's personal, it's private, and that's why I was saying that before. This is not an assignment being handed in, and it's not a Catholic school thing, nothing against that, or the Episcopal. This is between you and you.
Right. So,
or on Facebook.
Yeah. So once you feel like you're done. Once you feel like you're done, don't vent on Facebook. And the other thing is, if you don't have anything nice to say on Facebook, don't say it. I just got to say it. So once you're done, right, ask yourself, am I really done? Am I really done? And try to just like when I said the volcano, try to hold it onto it. Really clean the pot. Make it so that it's pristine. Don't hold on to anything. And then when you're done, you could bring up the next thing that you said. When you feel like you're really done, what you write is, thank you, superconscious mind. Where is it? Thank you, superconscious mind. I give this to you, all to you right now. I completely release this, and it is so. Thank you, superconscious mind. So the thing about this is after you release it, you immediately have to rewrite it. So what I do is I'll take that piece of paper and I'll put it over here, and I'll take a online sheet of paper and put it in front of me. and I'll look at what I've written, and then I'll write a rewrite, which is a script from event. So last week we talked about what a script is. So a script is, thank you, superconscious mind, for allowing me, how you start a script. And I probably should have given this to you. Thank you, superconscious mind, for allowing me to recreate what I really want. And then you look at this and you think about what it is that you really want to recreate. So about the pandemic, it might look like I'm able to always see the best in everything. I'm enjoying my time, and I'm understanding that the universe has probably put me in this situation to reflect more, or I'm enjoying my time with my kids. Start to say the things that are real, and then you can create what you want. I'm able to use this time to catapult into even better place in life. I'm able to use it, like for me, actually, the pandemic was really great. I've written 3 courses. So I just finished 1. So that's my 3rd. So I've written 3 courses. So I'm able to use this time to recreate what I want. I'm able to reconnect to my family and friends through Zoom. I've used technology in ways that I never even expected. And when you write your rewrite, write what you want to create from this. So you can make it up. Just make it up. This pandemic ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me, because I found that I found things that I never thought I'd find. I found hobbies that I never expected. Even if you haven't found hobbies that you never expected, put it out to the universe. It's not over. So you got a couple more months to find this hobby. I was able to take time to heal my body, or whatever it is that you want. Start thinking about, what do you want for the next couple months of your life, and put it in the sheet of paper. Write it in the personal, the present tense, and the positive. That's called the 3 Ps. Personal, three Ps. And you can write it in present tense or as if it already happened. And then when you're done, you ended it the way we talked about last week. Thank you, superconscious mind. It is right now, positively and constructively benefiting myself and all others. And that's the end of a rewrite.
And it feels so good.
Yes. So after your rewrite is written, you take your vent and you can do whatever you want with it, but you want to destroy it. Like, so you either rip it up and throw it in the garbage, which is what I do, because I don't burn anything, because I've had not such good experiences doing that.
Not such experience in your house, or because you feel it doesn't work, or what do you mean by that?
So when my son was little, I burned a vent, and he had an asthma attack. So I've never.
Oh, well, there you go. All right. I was wondering, I'm like, what happened? Did it undo the vent? Because,
I've burned things, and I think there's something really beautiful about the burning process, because you see the smoke. It's like incense, in the Catholic religion, we burn incense because the smoke goes straight up, and there's a belief that the incense goes straight to heaven. So to see that ugliness evaporate, basically, and just leave the planet, it's out of your mind, your heart, you clear all of your chakras, and then to see it go up in smoke, literally up to the heavens, I think is a really beautiful ceremony.
And I've talked about before, one of the things that I've done with my daughters is, like, New Year's Eve, we burn something, and ours was completely different. Ours was because in the American Indian culture, they dance around a fire because they believe that the flames would go up and their prayers would be heard by, whoever they had to be heard by, the universe. I mean, honestly, nowadays you have more of a chance of getting fined from somebody who's seeing it and going, they're killing the environment. I'm like, no, I'm just venting. But like, just be careful with that, because then you have to write a completely different vent about your neighbor that doesn't know how to mind their business.
Or prepay before you start lighting the fire.
Exactly.
Everything will go calmly. Everything will
be calm. My neighbors will be asleep, and they won't notice me dancing outside naked in the dark, like burning my vent.
Is that really what happens on New Year's Eve at your house? You're gonna have like the people for the show.
Nah, I keep my clothes on because I vent about the fact that I don't go to the gym. So I mean, honestly, that's my vent. No, I plank until I sweat and am done. But I just think that there's whatever works for you. I think it's fun too. When my daughters were little, even way before I met Kim and knew what a vent even was, I used to teach them that if they were really upset with someone from school and they wanted to get the words out, But I said, listen, do you really want to start an argument? You really don't want to start an argument. Half the battle for most people is they want to be heard. They want their piece and their part to be heard. Most of the time, what you don't realize is when you say something, it could start a much larger issue. So what I would say to them is write it down and then rip it up and throw it in the air like confetti, like you're having a parade. Instead of a pity party, throw yourself a parade. And we've done this before. And the thing is that you want to cut it up in millions of pieces because I am part Italian and no one's going to put those pieces together. Don't ever do it in just three. I'm going to tell you that right now. You want to make sure no one can find maybe even eat a couple of the pieces.
But it's true, though, when you put things down on paper, whether you journal or do this vent exercise, it really is such an emotional release when you put things out in the universe. And I agree with Kim, you could talk to your girlfriends, talk to your spouse, boyfriend, whatever, but there's a point where you really are just sounding like a broken record and you just have to heal whatever that is that's truly bothering you.
I find it interesting too. Like I am very open about therapy and loving my therapist. And I mean, honestly, at this point, I feel that I pay a person once a week for myself to vent to. And it could be, some people work with other people. Maybe you go to confession. I don't know what you do, but I do it because I much prefer to not call my girlfriends and have to just tell them all my stuff, because I'm not saying I've never done it and had conversations with friends, but I think especially right now, there's so much going on in this world. And I just feel like it's irresponsible of me at my age, whatever, knowing experience-wise what it is to run a household, what it is to run a business, what it is to be a parent. And who am I to call either of you up, let's say, or Suzanne, and just all of a sudden start spewing out my crap? It's like, I have a bathroom, I use it. I don't go to your house. And I love when I make Kim laugh. I gotta tell you, I'm like, drop the mic, it's done. But it's like, I truly feel this way, and I have felt this way for a long time. I go poop in the potty. I don't go on your front lawn. Like, I need to call you up and say to you, you're not going to believe this, because I don't know what's going on. Like, I may have called you, and you being a good friend are like, you know what? I always answer the phone for my friends. Maybe you're having an argument with your spouse. Maybe you're having your own issue. Maybe you found out you didn't pay your taxes last year. And who am I to call you and add on to that? I think there's a time and a place, and I want to hear what you have to say. But I just think that some people need to be careful with.
Well, here's the thing. I do think that we need support groups, right? And I'm not a big fan of calling and complaining, because I do think that if you try to work it out first, like try to do some of the tools or try to visualize, but sometimes we do need to share that with our friends. And all you have to do, Donna, is say, hey, I got stuff going on, but I know that you have a life. Is this a good time? Like,
I like that. So basically she's saying, is it okay if I poop on your lawn today?
Yeah. I think when you know that you're calling a friend and you know that you're going to want to talk for a while, I ask, do you have 5 minutes? Do you have 10 minutes? Because I really need to share this with you. And they either say yes or no, but you gave that person the option. Also, another thing, it's not really good friendship if you're constantly dumping on people.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you feel like you have that personality, if you're kind of catching yourself like, gosh, every time I call my friends, all I do is dump. I think it's time to hire a therapist or someone like him, a light docent, and work it out.
I like how you said dump, and I was talking about pooping.
Well, right. That's what it is. That's what I say. You're, dumping. And, but I do it. I have to dump on my girlfriends, but they do the same to me. And that's part of our friendship, but not every conversation is like that. I think if it becomes chronic and habitual, it's time to seek out a professional. Because it can actually cause mental disorders. Not that we're psychologists or doctors, but too much negativity, as we know, we've all read studies on this, causes so much stress on the body, which causes mental illness and mental disorder. So you've got to let it out with a professional.
Well, one of the things I say to the people who call me and complain, because I do have people who call me and complain, and I've done it to people too. If I hear them being a victim, I'm gonna say something, because I'm not a big fan of victimology. I just don't believe we're victims of anything. And I know that sounds harsh, but if you listen to all my videos, you'll understand it. It's not that I do understand that we have experiences that can make us feel like victims, but I believe that we are the source of everything we attract. So sometimes people don't bring me a lot of their stuff because they know I'm going to call them out on it. So they, if you call your friends out on stuff when they're being a victim, they tend not to come and call you when, they want just to vent. But it is important to create a support group of have a network of women that we support each other to be the best versions of ourselves. So, I mean, I really honestly think that if you're friends with me, 10 to 1, you're not really calling me and dumping anyway, because you understand what I believe, and you probably, I always say that I trained all my friends, right?
That is true. I mean, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I will say that there's a lot of people that in life you could be friends with. A makeup artist, always awesome when you need eyelashes. A hairdresser, always great when you need your roots done. But when you need to hear if you're like actually being a whiny victim, be friends with a life coach, because she'll set you straight. She'll be like, Donna, really? I have to turn the clock, because this is not a friend call at this point. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's just recap. So we learned scripting last week, and that's, pre-paving and scripting. This week we talked about an amazing exercise with the volcano. I love the visualization of the volcano, because I think so many people can really utilize that, and they can go and check out, Kim's page, and tell the name of the group again, Kim. I'd like to put it in the comments. I did put up your link for Kim Mazzella Call as me, but I would like to put up your.
So it's Supercharger Mindset. It's on Facebook. It's a free group, and I do a ton of videos just for that group. Right now we're doing a 21-day challenge. We're on day 20. So how are you doing on it? Are you doing it?
I am. I love it. It's, what? It just helps me refocus.
Yeah.
On the big picture. I love it. I love being part of the group, and I've been inviting more girlfriends and family members. So I hope that they take part in it and learn from it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So Supercharger Mindset. It's real. So my goal is really to help women be the best versions of themselves. So nothing against the guys. You're welcome.
Is it only for women?
No, there's guys on it. Yeah.
Okay.
I speak to women because most guys aren't, but they are starting to. So God bless the guys who are moving into the social emotional learning side of life. And I have had male clients. So, throughout my almost 20 years of doing this, I have had male clients, but I will say the preponderance is female. A lot of times, like, women will bring their partners to me after, and I think everybody needs to learn this stuff. I mean, it's shocking to me that not everybody knows it. What were you going to say, Donna? I made you laugh.
I don't know what I was thinking, and because you speak quickly, and I
know it's terrible.
So, you know what's funny? I couldn't remember the actual name of it, and it's Supercharge Your Mindset. But what I put up is Supercharger Mindset.
I love that.
I swear that's why I said it. I asked you twice. I'm like, wait, is it really? Because I didn't think I knew the word yours in there, but I was like, okay, she said Supercharger Mindset, so I put Supercharger Mindset, but it's super charged. Oh my God. This has been such a silly episode.
I'm really very, you know what it is? I'm a little on the tired side.
I know, but I'm directing people to the wrong place. And I want to go find out what Supercharger.
I should make a second group.
Supercharger Mindset. Okay, that's what it's gonna be.
Sometimes I'll listen to my videos, like I force myself to listen to them, and I'm like, God, I have no idea what I just said. I said it so quickly.
No, they're awesome. The videos are awesome.
So funny.
I love listening to them.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually what it's called.
Thank you. Go find me.
No, thank you. You know what time it is, right?
Yes. Cards. Woo.
Yeah.
You want to go first, Dawn?
Sure. Whatever you girls want to do. Why not? We're
Well,
gonna
Dawn, you are
anybody.
you haven't done yet, Dawn.
I do angel cards for myself almost every day. Because I love to talk to my angels, our angels. We all share them, right? Yeah.
You tell me when to stop, okay?
You could stop. I'm feeling good. We're
She
good.
goes, you could stop. Did you see how she did that? You could stop. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Answered prayer.
Oh, that's
That's
a good
for
one.
you.
Love it. Yes. Always praying all day long.
Like emerging. No, miracles.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, I love it.
On.
Yes. And I believe, and I say that all the time, I believe in miracles. I really do.
I do.
We are all miracles for sure.
We are. All right.
Okay, this way?
Yes.
Stop. You always do one more.
No, then you want it here? You want it here. You want me to take this and put this back together?
The first way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready? Balance.
Balance. Oh, wow. I really need it. So thank you.
She's like, I'm a little tired, so I could use some balance. Right? And playfulness. That's perfect. Because the thing is you need to start to balance your work and your play.
There you go.
And I have been working a lot.
A lot. I bet you have.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah. I need balance. Definitely.
I wonder if Suzanne Stein is still here because I wonder if she wants me to pick a card for her. I will say the comment section has been very quiet this evening.
I wonder why. Maybe we're all tired.
I didn't hold anything back from anybody. I don't know. I think maybe everybody had a late football night yesterday. They're tired. We have people that are just watching. I love that, which is nice. All right. I'm ready. I'm in a good place, so. Suzanne is still here. Suzanne, you have to at least pick a number so I can get a card for you or something. Yes, she says. All right, here you go. Ready? Manifestation.
We're on the right channel.
I'm telling you, it's like, seriously, this is like my Siamese twin.
That's good. You are the manifesting queen.
And study. Oh, I do need to study.
Oh, I love that.
I need to study more because, she said, okay, 7. I'm going to shuffle for a second, and then we'll get the 7th card. Kim, tell me when to stop.
Me? Stop.
Okay, and now, ready, Dawn? You're going to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, 7th card. Well, because I wanted you both to be involved.
Oh, you're so
1,
good.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, are you ready? I can't wait to see your card.
I can't wait either.
Playfulness.
Oh,
We have the same card.
And the underneath card, let's see what it is. Watch it be miracles, and you got one from each of you. Trust.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's a nice. Well, venting is all about trust. It's honesty, and trust.
That is true. Should we pick one for our friend, Tracy Locke? Who we
Oh,
met
yeah.
tonight? We'll pick one for her. All right, now, Dawn, you tell me when to stop, and then Kim, you tell. Suzanne said she'll take it.
Stop.
Okay, Kim.
Stop.
Okay, these are for Tracy.
Yay.
Children. She wants a celebration.
Nice.
Fun, I tell you that. And surrender and release.
Very
so
cool.
watching, Tracy, surrender and release.
And that's
So I was
venting.
thinking about doing Carolyn Mace's wheel. We had talked about it.
Yes. Yes.
It's the archetypal wheel. This is mine.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. It might take more than one show.
Is it this?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you have that? Is that yours?
Yes,
No.
I have this up right now. When we talked about the last time, the alchemist, the lover, the guide, the empath, magical child, storyteller, messenger, judge, visionary, shaman, protector, healer.
Yeah, but it's interesting because every archetypal wheel has to have four certain archetypes. Every wheel has to have the victim, the saboteur, the prostitute, and the child. So was that your wheel, or was that?
No, this was something I pulled off of the internet one day when we were looking to show the example. I've never done a wheel. I would be very excited to do one.
Yeah.
It might take a 2 sessions because there's so many archetypes. I'll have to send them out. Maybe we'll put them on. There's so many archetypes to choose from. But if you go to Carolyn Mace's website, she gives some. But hold on, this is the book.
I would love that.
Sacred Contracts. Obviously, I've read this book too. And she gives a lot of different archetypes in here that you can use. I love Carolyn Mace. I've seen her actually. I've seen her a couple times. But
Kim, I want to share something about a book. My Course in Miracles that I bought years ago has gone missing. I don't know where it is. I've searched my house up and down and I never lent it to anyone and it is just gone. And I know my family wouldn't like.
Just so you know, A Course in Miracles is online at unitedbeings.com.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get another one, but I listen to it also on YouTube. They have people that read it, but I just think it's like my personal mystery right now. I'm like, where the heck is my Course in Miracles?
That's so crazy.
And I keep things very organized.
I feel like you're going to find it, though. I think you're going to find it.
I hope so. Or I'll just get another one.
All right, ladies, this has been an incredible evening. It is now the end of our show. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Please know that we are live Monday evenings from 8 to 9 on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Periscope. Check us out, like us, subscribe, and we'll see you again next week. Don't forget to go to Supercharger Mindset on Facebook to sign up for Kim's course. We are at the end of a 21-day journey. Are you starting it again, Kim?
Yeah, I'm going to start it again. I'll start it again.
Okay.
I'll probably start it again next week, but there's so many videos on my Supercharger Mindset page. So join it because there's so much, stuff that you can learn there. Yeah. So much content.
Yes. Dawn Maloney, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
and
it's so great. Wow, I love both.
Traded blondes. I love it. And Grace will be back next week. But thank you so much again, Kim Mazzella, professional life coach, Dawn Maloney, and I am Donna V. And have an amazing evening. And happy venting or negative, not happy venting. Angry venting. Make sure your rewrite is awesome. Bye.